Hello, today we will be reading The Girl Who Hated Books. So in Mina's house there were books everywhere. There were books in dressers, drawers and closets. The problem is Mina hates all of them. Ooh, okay. This sounds like a good book. I picked this up personally, but I love the illustrations. Once there was a girl named Nina. If you looked her name in a book, you would find that it means fish in ancient sandwich. But Mina didn't know any of that because she had never looked up anywhere. She hated to read and she hated books. They're always in the way, she said. And this was true because in her house, books were everywhere. Not just on bookshelves beside tables where books usually are, but in all sorts of places where books usually aren't. There were books in dressers and drawers and desks and closets and cupboards and chests. There were books on the sofa, books on the stairs, books crammed in the fireplace and stacked on chairs. Worse still, her parents were always bringing home more books. They kept buying books and borrowing books and ordering books from catalogues. They read at breakfast, lunch and dinner. When they asked Mina if she wanted to read, she would stamp her feet and shout, "I hate books." And when they tried to read out loud to her, she would put her hands over her ears and shout even louder, "I hate books." There's probably only one person in the world who hated books more than Mina, and that was her cat, Max. A long time ago, when he was just a kitten, an atlas fell on his tail. It bent the tip like a pipe cleaner. Ever since, he's tried to stay on top of books rather than below them. One morning, after Mina moved the books out of the sink to brush her teeth, she went to find the kitchen to get breakfast for herself and breakfast. First, she climbed onto the stack of encyclopedias so that she could read some cereal. Then she opened the fridge and moved a pile of magazines to get milk. She poured some breakfast for herself and She opened the fridge and moved a pile of magazines to get the milk. She poured some for herself and some for Max. "Max," she called, "breakfast is ready." Max didn't come. She tried again. "Max," she called, "breakfast is ready." He still didn't come. Where could he be? He looked in the bathtub, behind the dryer. She looked under the stairs and on top of the clock. She found more books, but she didn't find Max. Then she heard loud meow. She ran on into the dining room. There he was, stuck on top of the tallest stack of books in her house. It was made up of books her parents kept buying and she kept refusing to read. At the bottom were big shiny picture books from when she was a baby. In the middle were alphabet books and nursery rhymes. At the top, right by the ceiling, were fairy tales and adventure stories. They were all covered in dust. "Don't worry, Max," Mina called to him. "I'll rescue you." She started to climb the pile of books. At first it wasn't easy because the picture books had hard covers and she felt as if she were climbing stairs. But when she reached the paperbacks, her foot slipped on a book of poetry. She lost her balance and started to slide. Crash! The books went flying. They fell every way, the bindings cracking open. For the very first time, the pages flipping apart. As they fell, strange things began to happen. People and animals started falling out of the pages and tumbling onto the ground. They dropped on top of one another, scattering the books and toppling the chair. were princes, princesses, fairies, and frogs. Then a wolf and 3 pigs, and a troll on the log. Humpty Dumpty went flying and broke in half. Behind Mother Goose and the purple giraffe, there were elephants, emperors, emus, and elves, and an assortment of monkeys tangled up in themselves. This way and that. Wild rabbits, white rabbits, and rabbits with hats. Mina sat there in the middle of it all. She surprised to move. I thought books were full of words, not rabbits, she said. 6 more came rolling out of a book beside her. By now, she couldn't recognize the dining room at all. The elephant was balancing on the coffee table, juggling china plates. The monkeys had torn down the curtain. Stop! Cried Mina. Go back! But there was so much barking, grunting, and thumping that no one had heard her speak. She grabbed the nearest rabbit and tried to stuff him into a cookbook. That scared him so much he wriggled out of Mina's grasp and ran away. She opened another book and 4 ducks flew out. She slammed it shut again. This won't work. I don't know who goes in which book. She thought, I know. I'll go to everyone and ask where they belong. He stared at one strange creature. He didn't recognize her at all. She asked. A is for aardvark, the animal said angrily and stomped off in search of her alphabet book. I can't remember if I'm from Little Red Riding Hood or the 3 Little Pigs. She found a wolf sobbing under the dining table and asked where she belonged. I can't remember if I'm in Little Red Riding Hood or the 3 Little Pigs, he wailed and blew his nose to the tablecloth. But Mina couldn't help him because she hadn't read neither. She had never read either story, and she had an idea. She picked up the nearest book and read aloud. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away. Slowly, the creatures stopped jumping, howling and gibbering and chatting. They swept closer and closer to see what happened next. Soon they were all sitting in a circle around her, listening to her read. When Mina reached the top of the 2nd page, pigs in a jiggle in the circle jumped up. That's us! They cried. That's our page, that's our book. They leapt up into the circle, dove into her lap, disappeared into the book. Mina clapped it shut before they could pop out again. She grabbed another story. One by one, she began reading all her books, and one by one, the creatures found where they belonged. At last, there was just one little rabbit in a little blue coat left in the room. Mina picked him up slowly. Mina picked up a book. It was a tale of Peter Rabbit. Maybe I could keep this rabbit with me, she thought. She was beginning to feel lonely now that everyone was gone. But the little rabbit stood in front of her, shifting nervously from foot to foot and twitching his fuzzy nose. He was anxious to get back home, so with a big sigh, Mina opened the last book. The rabbit hopped in, and with a flash of his cotton tail, he was gone. The house was quiet. Max sat on some books, washing his face. Mina said, "We'll never see those rabbits ever again," she said. Then she noticed that the books were still lying around her. She started to smile. When her parents came in the afternoon, they could not believe their eyes. Not because the curtains were gone, not because the dishes were broken and the table legs were chewed up, because there, sitting in the middle of the room, was Mina. She was reading a book. And that is the end of The Girl Who Hated Books. I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you again tomorrow for more. Well, I'm going to do another one right now, so...